Welcome to the Stephen Hartmann Podcast. What's the show? No one knows. Who am I?
Who am I?
Who cares? Let's start the show.
Hell yeah. That's right. It's time to start this fucking show. It's Friday. Not that that really matters for most people. Anyway, how's everybody doing? Go ahead and kick that shit off. It is the Friday episode. Hope everybody's had a good week. It's been pretty decent for me so far. Just trying to get some work shit going. That's about all I've been trying to do. I think I have some stuff lined up, hopefully. But it's been a pretty good week. Went by fast as hell already, I'll say that. I was like, damn, it's already Friday. I need to get this damn episode done. I almost forgot. We had a couple of Big Brother episodes since last time I talked, so figure we'll go ahead and talk on that. Pretty much exactly what I thought was going to happen. So, of course, Frenchie is gone, but we'll talk about what led up to all that. Wednesday was the veto comp, and it was I can't remember who the hell got picked now. It was like Derek X. I can't even remember the other two. But it was like this competition where they had to catch lotion and shit and try to fill up the thing as quick as possible. And everybody did pretty good, truthfully. I was surprised at the times. Like everybody was under around 6 minutes or so. So I was pretty impressed. You know, usually in a comp, you get some people that like end up doing like a 20-minute, thing, do the whole max or whatever. But they all did a pretty good job, surprisingly. But Derek X was the one that ended up winning, which was kind of surprising because they make it look the way they want to when they're editing it and shit. So they made it kind of look like he was kind of dumb and not doing very good. But he ended up winning. For a second there, I thought Frenchie was going to win because like he went pretty crazy, went all out. And then like he didn't have to go for that last bucket that everybody else did to get the thing out. He used his skinny little fingers to get the key out all quick. So I thought that was going to save him some time. So I was like, oh shit, did he win the veto? But nah, ended up being that Derek X guy. And Frenchie tried to, persuade them to do some shit. He's all like, man, you guys keep me. I'll be the target. Ain't nobody else going to come after you guys until they get rid of me first and all this shit. And he's like, it's us against everybody. And like Kylan and Derek X were looking at him like, dude, that's just 3 people. Like that doesn't work. Like that's just not a good deal. So like you knew they weren't going to take that fucking deal. So Derek X totally was like, no, I'm not using the veto on anybody. So that basically left the house to do what they wanted to do, which was get rid of Frenchie. And I mean, I can't say that he didn't try to, convince people or whatever, but he just did such a bad job of like selling himself. And like when he went to people with deals, they were such bad deals. It was like, okay, you're not offering me anything, dude. Like, I don't know. He just didn't really do that good of a job. But of course, the vote came down Thursday and Frenchie goes home. I think he got one sympathy vote from Joe Frazier's kid. He's Derek F. Yeah. Duh. He gave him a vote because like they were final 2 deal already or whatever. But I kind of like that guy. I was not sure who I was really going to like after, like I said, I kind of wanted Frenchie to win right away. But after he fucked up, I was just like, I don't know who to like. I was kind of liking that Sarah Beth chick. but I think I'm leaning towards this Derek F guy. He is, I don't know, he's definitely very positive. Like he definitely tries not to go negative at all. He was trying to push, Frenchie to keep his head up and shit and actually fight, and it kind of made him want to, but he just didn't do a good job. But I really like that guy. I wasn't sure at first, and then I didn't even realize that he was Joe Frazier's kid. But that's kind of cool. But he's a pretty interesting person. It'll be interesting to see if he can win some shit, especially like the physical stuff, because he is a big dude, and like big dudes don't do very well. That's why I don't think I would do very well at Big Brother, because I got asthma and I'm fucking big. So like I would just be, I couldn't catch my breath after like 2 minutes of doing anything and trying to hold myself up on something. Like fuck that. I'm gonna fall right away. So I'm hoping this guy can handle it. He says he's pretty athletic and shit, so we'll see. But most of the time big dudes just don't do very good at the athletic shit. So he'll have to win more of the brain stuff, or the the lucky stuff. But I like that guy, so hopefully he can go far. Like I said, Sarah Beth, I'm starting to like her a lot too. She seems like she knows what she's doing. But they had the HOH, and it was like a true or false thing. And I did pretty good at guessing the first couple, but after that, I was like, how do these people like remember this shit? Or are they just that good of guessers? Like, I understand it's 50-50 chance, true or false, but some of the questions I was just like, what? And then like they kind of sneak shit in. Like the last question was, did the person say they wanted to be nude, but they actually said naked? And I was just like, damn, that's a little, trick of, it started with an N. So I was like, yeah, it's true. That's what he said. And it was like, oh, he said naked. So, it's funny, like 6 people all got that wrong. And then Xavier, I believe his name is, one HOH. So it'll be interesting to see what that guy does, because he hasn't really shown too much of what he wants to do in this game so far. He's just been kind of quiet. So it'll be interesting to see what he does. Does he just play it safe and go after, I would assume just go after more of the jokers. You already have what's her name that was up, so put her back up and then go after another joker. I don't know. Like we'll see what his game plan is. It'll be interesting. They do the wild card on Sunday, and that always kind of fucks things up. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. But it would be nice to see this Xavier guy, like, try to do some actual moves. But it seems like most people don't like to do that. And I guess it's because of people like Frenchie who do try to make moves, just end up fucking up hardcore. He tried to make big moves, and then the following week he's gone. So maybe it's not smart to do that. But I think he just went at it the wrong way. He got super paranoid. He had a team that like was with him, and then he like blew up on him for no reason. And like even after he was out of the house, Julie even kind of said something like, they weren't coming after you. And he still was like, oh, I was right. They didn't want me and all this shit. And it's like, dude, you were totally wrong. They were not coming after you until you went after them. And it's just like, I don't know. I guess he just didn't see it. Like I said, we get the benefit of seeing the shit on TV, and they get to edit it, and all that shit. So maybe it was a lot harder to see in the house, but for some reason he felt that his team was betraying him when they weren't. Like, I really don't think they were going to put him up this week. I think he was good until he fucking freaked out on everybody. And then they were just like, let's get rid of this guy. He's a fucking problem. But it'll be interesting to see where they go now, because now they don't have that chaos in the house. What is the game plan going to be? Because usually, like, that is what drives the house, is trying to get that one thing out. Well, now you don't have any driving force. So, what is the game now? So, it'll be interesting to see where they go. If I was Xavier, I would probably go after Brent and I can't even remember her name. Brittany, I think, the blonde girl. They're kind of like a duo. So, I think I would go after them. But you could also go after Christian and his girl because they are definitely a duo. And then, like, it looked like Kylan and Sarah Beth were hooking up. So is that another duo you got to worry about? So there, it's definitely going to be interesting to see what this guy does. I wouldn't doubt if he plays it safe though. And what's her name goes home this week? The one that was not voted out this last week. I think her name was Brittany. I can't remember that blonde girl's name. But it'll probably be something like that. Maybe the wild card will fuck it up and, something different will happen and one of these strong people will go home. Cause I mean, I liked what Frenchie's idea was. He was tired of seeing all these jocks and pretty people win the game, which that's what it is all the time. He wanted to get one of these other, normal kind of people to win, but he just went at it the whole wrong way. So we'll see. Like I said, this Xavier guy is kind of, who knows what he's going to do because we don't really know much about him. He's been very quiet. He hasn't done too much. I know he's in the cookout and he was in the slaughterhouse, but that shit's all blown up. So I guess he's, he'll probably see what the cookout people say. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what he does. That's for sure. Like I said, that'll happen Sunday. I'm sure he will announce who he's putting up and then they'll do the wild card. I think that's how it works. So that'd be cool. I guess I'll go on to news, even though there really wasn't any news that I really wanted to talk about today. The only one that I saw, it's a pretty funny little story. I'll kick this off for a second. Is this? This was like the front thing when I opened up the news today. It was the first story on there. And it just made me laugh because I'm like, yep, I have done that plenty of times. So I understand, and especially, how shitty things have been this last year, how bad people are treating service workers, grocery store workers. It's amazing that these people even want to do the job anymore because of how shitty people treat them. And it's crazy. They'll come in and they'll bitch about why is there only 2 registers open, fucking, or why don't you have more help? And it's like, because nobody wants to fucking work. It's like we're not having 2 people here because we want to. It's because this is our staff right now. So if you don't want to wait, go somewhere else. It's like, what the fuck? What do you expect? Like, a lot of people decided not to work this last year and they have just decided still not to go to work. So most places are very understaffed. Very understaffed. I know at one point at Domino's, we had like 4 drivers working. That's insane. And then people are bitching that their pizzas are like 2 hours late. It's like, well, I mean, come on, man. Like 70 fucking orders come in at one time. We only have a certain amount of people that can make pizzas. And then we have like 4 drivers. We can't take 10 orders a piece. It doesn't work that way. So yeah, I'm sorry your pizzas are going to be fucking late. You should just come get it if you don't want to fucking wait. But no, most people are too fucking lazy to come get it. And then when they do come get it, they bitch about having to wait. And it's like, oh, sorry. People got to fucking wait. It's just how it works, man. Just be patient. And if you don't like it, go somewhere else. That's the whole thing too. Like, I don't get people to go like, I've come here the last 6 times. You guys have messed up my order or whatever. You guys have done something wrong. Why are you still coming back? If we're fucking up that much, don't come back. I wouldn't. I know if I went to a place and every time I ordered a cheeseburger, they gave me a chicken sandwich, I would never go back to that place. I would probably give them twice at the most, and then I'm done with that place. Why do you keep coming back to a place that messes up your order all the time? Or to a store that you're never getting good customer service. It's like, well, if you're not getting the service you want, maybe you should try another store. Maybe we're just not the store for you, you know? But people just fucking have no respect for, you know, us workers that have to deal with most of these asshole people. All those Karens and Chads out there just fucking, they gotta have their fucking thing right now, or they flip out and want a fucking number to call somebody. It's just like, dude, fuck yourself. You ain't getting shit. Like sometimes, like, I don't know how people don't flip out more at work. There were definitely times where I was dealing with customers, I would straight up just like slam the phone onto the hanger. Like, I'm done with you. I can't deal with you. You're too stupid. If you're calling a pizza place and asking me what toppings you have, there's a good fucking chance that you're going to get hung up on. Because if you don't know what fucking toppings go on a pizza, you shouldn't be ordering pizza. Like, it's just one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. We have the same fucking toppings that every pizza place has. All right. Like, it just, I don't get that shit at all. It's like, oh no, we have like quail, we have alligator, we have the specialty pizzas here. No, motherfucker, we have pepperoni, sausage, cheese, normal fucking pizza shit. I don't know. It just amazes me how stupid people are. Like, a lot of those people that call and ask that shit, you can't tell me that they've never been to a pizza place, that they've never looked at a pizza menu. Like, it's pretty fucking simple. Maybe there might be a couple extra ingredients from different pizza places, but it's all the same shit. Pepperoni, sausage, the normal fucking pizza shit. And it amazes me how hard it is for people to order. I don't get it. And just not even pizza, man. Like, sitting in lines at places, you hear them at the drive-thru going, "What goes on that?" Or "What comes with this?" Bitch, this is McDonald's. If you don't fucking know what goes on a Big Mac, where have you been? Why are you asking this question? Like, I don't get that shit. Who doesn't know what goes on a fucking Big Mac? Like, maybe someone from another country, I guess, that's never had a fucking McDonald's, I would give them the credit, like, okay, yeah, sorry, you might need to know that there's some fucking onions and shit on this burger. But if not, you should fucking know what goes on this hamburger. It's not a new restaurant. This place has been around since we've all been alive. You should know what the fuck to order. But just, I don't know. I guess it's just common sense shit, and most of these fucking people out here just don't have it. It amazes me. Like, I don't know. I'm not a smart fucking person whatsoever, but I sure know how to treat people. I know how to be nice. I know how to be patient, wait my fucking turn, not get mad because there's a line, not start yelling at people because I can't get my fucking 2 for 3 chips today. It's just no need for any of that shit, man. Just be civil. Be a fucking human being. That's the way I look at it. Just, we always heard that shit growing up, right? Treat people the way you want to be treated. Well, I guess most of these people just like to be treated like shit because that's how they treat people all fucking day long. So maybe then, those kind of people you should treat like shit, but then you get in trouble for doing that at work. You tell a guy to fuck off. Next thing you know, you're getting fired. So, but they can call you all kinds of shit and it don't matter whatsoever. It's not like you can be like, oh, well, you can't come back in here anymore. It's like, no, that doesn't really work. People can just come right back fucking in, start calling you all kinds of names. And you just got to be like, thank you, sir. Have a nice day. And it's ridiculous. We should definitely be able to have some leeway to handle stupid fucks. I don't know. All I can say is just try to treat people nicer, man. If you're going to a store, if you're going to a fucking restaurant, don't be a fucking dick. Just be a human, Say thank you. Do all the shit you should do. Like how you would treat your mom, basically. I guess some of you people would fucking kill your mom and shit. So you probably, I shouldn't say that. So, but just, I don't know. It blows me away how bad people treat service workers and shit. It's crazy. It's like I don't get where you think you deserve to treat people that way. Because it's just bad upbringing. Anyway, sorry for that fucking long ass rant. I gotta went off there for a second. We'll go ahead and get off that. Like I said, there wasn't much news, and that was the news story that I brought up, and that kind of brought on a fucking long ass rant. I will do my TV review right now too, as well. So I'll kick me off here. I finished Loki. I'm pretty sure most of you have too as well. It's a really good fucking show. Of course, it's Marvel, man. They don't really seem to fuck up lately. So it was a really good show. It kind of got into where the multiverse came from. Of course, it takes a while to get to that point, but you can kind of see how, it was getting to that direction. But it was a very weird show. Like, I feel like I probably need to watch it again because there was a lot of stuff that I kind of missed. But the whole time I kept thinking, like, all right, is this like something Doctor Strange is doing to fuck with Loki? Or is this like a thing that he does? Is this all him? But I never saw him in the show, so apparently he had nothing to do with this. But like the premise is there's this time police, basically, I guess you could call them. And they take Loki in because he fucks up the timeline or some shit like that because he goes to grab the stupid little blue box thing. So they're like, okay, you can't do that because you're going to fuck things up. So I guess when they call them variants, fuck things up, they take them out. They fucking get rid of them. They like erase everything about that shit. Because I guess they can't fuck up the main timeline. There's these aliens or whatever that keep the sacred timeline solid. So if anything breaks off, they go there, they basically eliminate that shit. So they go to do that with Loki. But one of the guys is all like, wait, I want to use this guy, and it's because there's a bunch of other Lokis that cause issues just like he did. So he's all like, well, if I work with a Loki, maybe the Loki can help me get the other Lokis. Bunch of Lokis. It was pretty confusing at times, for sure. Now, the weird thing was there was a girl Loki. She's like the other main character, Sylvie. And it's hilarious because he like falls in love with himself. Like I said, they're Lokis. She's just a girl version. So basically, Loki is so narcissist that he falls in love with himself. It just like cracked me up when it started happening. I was like, oh my God, this dude is about to like fall in love with himself. This is perfect Loki, he couldn't fall in love with anybody else besides himself, basically. It was perfect. Just made me laugh. But it was a really good show. I was surprised it was only 6 episodes. It seems like Disney kind of doesn't want to do full seasons for some reason. So I was kind of disappointed with that. But, you know, they'll definitely be bringing it back, obviously. Or they'll be doing something with it. I think I heard about a Doctor Strange movie that has a lot to do with this shit. So I'm guessing he'll be in the Doctor Strange movie. But I definitely recommend it. Check it out. It's on Disney Plus, of course. It's like 6 episodes, like I said. Really fun. I enjoyed it a lot. I like totally forgot that they did a Bucky and whatever the fuck that other guy's name is, the Eagle guy, the one that flies around and shit. I think he's going to be the new Captain America. But they did a series and I haven't watched that yet, so I think we're probably going to check that out. I kind of heard about it, but I didn't really hear too much good stuff about it, compared to like WandaVision or Loki. I actually heard quite a bit about those two. So I wonder if that, Bucky one is going to be any good or not. I will definitely let you know though. It's like I said, it came out way before all these, so it's a little older, but I will definitely review that here in a while. Damn. I forgot what the hell I was going to talk about my life story. Shit. Okay, well, let me think about that for a second, and then I'll just go ahead. I'm not going to do a song recommendation today. I'm going to do a podcast recommendation. I guess I should have seen if this was going to work or not, because I know I can't watch Netflix, but I can watch YouTube and shit. But this guy, Zac Amico, he does a show on Gas Digital. It's called Zac Amico's Midnight Spook Show. He is kind of what has made me want to do a watch along with movies I've never seen. That's basically what this is, except he does like horror movies and B movies. And he sits there with comics and shit and they bullshit. It's kind of like that one fucking Mystery Science Theater or whatever it was. Except, way more dirty and shit. But it's pretty good. I like it a lot. I've watched a few episodes. I'm going to play a little bit for you here. It's like 7 minutes in. I'm doing the Louis J. Gomez test, 7 minutes into a podcast, see how it's going. So like, I'll probably play like a minute or so, and then I'll hop back on here in just a second. All right. So I'm going to kick me off. I'm going to go to my whole screen here. Go over here to Gas Digital. This is episode 123. I Spit on Your Grave. He had Corinne Fisher and Shane Smith, both very funny people. I like them a lot. They're on a lot of the shows here.
And it's
I'll shut up now for a minute.
Defetusing in Troma's Terror Firmer in the opening montage. A pregnant woman is on a roof and the killer tears a baby out of her.
I like that It's a woman-themed horror movie, and it starts with a woman getting behind the wheel of a car.
Yeah,
that's the horror movie.
That is the whole movie. Is just us white-knuckled watching a woman drive.
Oh,
she's coming through.
You should try Asian horror. It's all shot through a windshield.
Oh man, I'll be honest. I realize right now I've never seen the original. And I'm absolutely sure this movie's gonna fucking wreck my shit.
I have a feeling this is going to be a tough one. Love with him.
Oh.
Okay, I don't know why the hell that wasn't pausing. That was weird. Anyway, that's his show. I didn't want to play a lot of it. Just gives you an idea of what they do. He gives like pretty cool facts about the movies and shit like that. He's very knowledgeable about that shit. He's been in horror movies and stuff. He does shit with like Trauma, I believe is what it's called. Did like Return to Duke Nukem, and then his last movie was called Shakespeare Shit Show. I haven't watched that yet, but I will definitely check it out. Zac Amico is a pretty crazy dude. I like that guy a lot. Like, he is one of the funnier parts of Real Ass Podcasts. Like, the way he chimes in with some of his jokes just make that show amazing. Like, I literally laugh out loud almost every episode because of something that he said. They call him the sniper for a reason. He just snipes in with like some amazing lines. And he does wrestling shit too, man. He's pretty crazy. He took a glass tube to his forehead like 2 years ago, and it left this gnarly scar on his forehead. You can see it still, kind of like it looks a little funky. If he's not wearing a hat or whatever, you can see that shit pretty clearly. It's pretty funny. I still can't even remember what the hell I was going to talk about. So I guess I'll talk some more about Kansas, because for some reason that's on my mind. And like, this is kind of like a continuation from The Fire, because this is about me living with Dale and Cindy Chadwick. This is where we moved after the fire happened. It was my mom's friends. They had 2 sons that lived with them, Wes and Wade. They were my buddies. We hung out a lot before I even moved there. So it was pretty fucking cool to live with them. There were a lot of downsides to living with them, though. They lived out in the middle of nowhere. I can't even remember the name of the town right now. But basically, this was a gas station turned into a house somehow. Or there was just a house where there was a gas station. It was really weird. Like, you can see where the pumps used to be and all that shit. But anyway, there was like no running water. We'd have to, go get some water, fill up these giant tanks and shit like that. Bring water in to take baths, put the water on the stove so it gets warm so you can take a warm bath, shit like that. You got to bring water in to wash dishes, all that shit. And then sometimes there was just no electricity as well. That's just because, financial situations, you just didn't have electricity. So that wasn't any fun either. But like, the worst part was winter. And that was because you had to pretty much always be chopping wood, because you needed wood to keep the house warm. If you weren't using the wood stove, you would be frozen. Like, it was crazy. Because like I said, you're out in the middle of nowhere. It's kind of like field. So it's just cold as fuck. And even with the wood stove, most of the house was cold as fuck. You could literally just leave your milk out on the counter in the kitchen and it would stay cold. So I was like in 9th grade. Yeah, it was my second year in 9th grade there. I was going to Pale High School with them. And we would have to, wake up early, go outside, chop some wood if it wasn't already chopped, bring it in so we can get warm, stuff like that before the bus showed up for school. So we'd be out there freezing our balls off, getting that shit just so we can be a little bit warm. Or like I said, if we needed to fucking take a bath or whatever before school, or so that really sucked having to do that shit. But like, what was good about the wood stove is like where me and Wes and Wade slept was upstairs, basically above the wood stove. So it was always nice and toasty up there. So you didn't really have to worry about being cold up there. But that was also a bad thing, Because like I said, you'd be nice and warm, but then you got to go downstairs and it fucking blew, just like you're all warm and you go downstairs and it's fucking 1 degree in there. You're just shivering your fucking ass off. And you're like, I got to get some wood. And it just fucking sucked. But there was a lot of cool things about living there. Like I said, that it was out in the middle of nowhere. There was this little like horseshoe lake thing, or not lake. It was like a little creek or whatever the fuck you want to call it. We would go out there and just hang out and do all kinds of dumb shit. Have bonfires, get drunk, smoke, whatever the fuck we wanted to do. I remember this one time we were out there, and for some reason we're being stupid, just like playing with hatchets and shit, like throwing them at trees, stuff like that. And for some reason, my buddy Wade was swinging his shit around or something like that, and somehow he whacked my hand. And he cut it pretty good. It was luckily it didn't like hit the veins on my wrist, where you would, but it got me pretty good. It was bleeding, and I was like, oh shit. But being out in the middle of nowhere, you really can't do much. So I was like, fuck it, we'll just wrap it up, man. Don't worry about it. So like, I don't even know what I wrapped it up with. I might have fucking tore a piece of my shirt off or some shit like that. And I just wrapped it up and we kept going on, but fucking just a little farther down, that could have probably definitely did some damage. Like I said, if it would have hit some veins or some shit, or if you'd have just swung it a little harder, man, you could have like half took off my hand or some shit. So got pretty lucky there. There was a few times that we did some pretty dumb shit there. We used to do like backyard wrestling type shit, and I'm pretty sure like one time I DDT'd my buddy Wes, like legitimately DDT'd him, and probably may have fucked up his neck or some shit. It's like not realizing, hey, you're not supposed to actually hit his fucking head on the ground, But like I used to be able to power bomb them and shit and all kinds of stuff. So we used to do some pretty fucking crazy shit. I remember one time, like I got hit in the head with a VCR tape, and it cut me pretty good. Started bleeding and shit. We used to do all kinds of dumb shit. Like I said, it was fun, but it had, like I said, those negatives. It was definitely like, damn, I don't like living this way. I like having electricity and heat and running water. Who would have thought, huh? Those are important things in life. But yeah, we lived there. Like I said, I don't know. It may not have been a year, because I think I only did like a half a year at Paola High School. And then I did the other half at Garnett. So we obviously must have moved. I can't even think. It must have still been winter when we moved, because I remember going to Garnett when it was still snowing. So maybe I moved like halfway through a semester or some shit like that. I can't even remember. I was ditching and fucking hardly even going to school anyway. So it's hard to even remember what the hell is going on. That's why my mom was just like, look, kid, I'm not going to take you to school if you're just not going to go. So if you're going to just ditch, I'm going to make you an adult. And that's what we did. I was 16 and she was like, sign this shit. You can go do whatever the fuck you want. It was pretty funny. Definitely did not enjoy the school. Like, I don't know. I was just a bad student overall. I did well in some classes, but eventually I just would fuck up and just not do things. Even classes that I would be really good at. Like I was pretty good at math and science and shit. But even those classes, I would just be like, nah, I'm not doing this shit, and end up getting a D or an F because I was just an asshole. Just like, man, kind of wish I would have been a little better at school. Might be a little smarter nowadays. You think? But yeah, I don't know. Schools nowadays seem like they're even worse. Like my little niece, I hear stuff about her schools and stuff, and it's just like, man, they sound even worse nowadays. Like even more like babysitters instead of like teachers that give a shit that actually want to, help children. I can imagine there's probably, a couple of those people in a school, but I think most of those teachers nowadays are basically just glorified daycare. I don't think they care if their students do good. All they care is that they get their job done and they get their bonuses or whatever the fuck they get for their kids getting certain grades and shit like that. They probably barely remember their students the next year. Like I feel like at least my teachers, I feel like they, if I would have went back and talked to them a few years later, they would have remembered, because they had a little investment in kids back then. It seemed like at least a little bit. But, kids like me, they were just like, he's a lost cause, so we should just give up on that kid. But you could tell that they definitely, they would focus on the good kids, obviously. And why not? Like, I can't imagine trying to deal with a kid like me, trying to make him listen and do his homework and all that shit. Like, I don't know how you could deal with that. I was just so unruly and an asshole. I don't know. It's no wonder my teachers were just like, pass him, get rid of him. I don't want to deal with him again. Please just get him out of my grade. So I totally get why they do that. Then like, this is kind of a crazy little story from Kansas as well. I knew this guy, graduated from Kansas high school and everything, right? Didn't know how to read and write. I'm like, how do you graduate without knowing how to read or write? He says, well, I had a lot of people like do my work for me or whatever. And of course, I'm like, I don't really believe you because you're an adult. I'm pretty sure you can write, pretty sure you can read some shit. Now, can you read a whole book? Maybe not, but I'm pretty sure you can read. But like this dude literally was able to like sue the state, I believe, and he also got disability from it because he was able to prove that he never learned how to read or write. So he was just getting money all the time from the state because of it. I'm just like, that's fucking crazy. Like I said, I understand that they just passed me several times, but not when I got to high school. High school, they were like, oh, well, we don't care. You're not passing. If you want to do this again, you can do it again. So how, like, I understand, if you had some people write your answers for you, they may not know, but how are you passing tests? Tests are a huge part. So like to me, it just didn't seem possible for him not to know how to read and write. But like I said, somehow he convinced the state of Kansas and he was able to get money out of those people, which is just crazy. Like, but you could almost sue anybody for anything nowadays, and you can almost bet you're going to get some money. Like the lawsuits nowadays, it has gone up so much. It's insane. Like, I'm surprised there hasn't been more lawsuits about companies causing mental anguish through this whole COVID thing. But I can see it coming. Like, I've seen that meme before of people like, in 2025, commercial comes on. Were you affected by COVID? Were you mentally, whatever, because you had to stay at work and all this shit? Please call blah, blah, blah. We'll sue these people for you. I could totally see that coming soon. It has definitely been very hard. And so, it's definitely very draining. it can make you break. That's for sure. I know I've had plenty of times this last year where I was just like, I'm done, man. I just can't do things anymore. I don't want to be here. I don't want to work anymore, you know. And it's just because of how bad people treat you. And it, you know, I totally get it. But anyway, sorry, I almost started going in on that same exact rant I went on a minute ago. So fucking I guess that's it. I did all the shit. Like I said, there wasn't much news. I did my TV review. I did a long ass story. So I guess I'll do some plugs. Check out my niece's site, levitas.com. Check out my site, stephenhartmanpodcast.com. Give my podcast a share, a like, subscribe. Any of that's helpful. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna try to line up those interviews this next weekend, so keep a lookout for that. I'm still trying to get on a couple other podcasts, so I will keep you up to date on that as well. I will definitely have an episode out Monday. That'll probably be, you know, a lot of Big Brother from Sunday. And then there's not much sports going on anymore, so I may talk about other shit until football starts, because, you know, off-season stuff just really isn't that exciting. So, and then I probably won't be talking about NFL until like it literally starts, because I usually don't care about, you know, preseason bullshit. So I will be doing fantasy drafts though this year. I didn't do any last year. I'm going to get back into it this year because it feels like it's going to be normal again. So I think what I'll do is I might even do like a show fantasy thing. Like I'll do a Stephen Hartmann podcast, NFL fantasy league or some shit. So I'll keep you guys up to date on that as well. Besides that, hope you guys have a good weekend, and fucking I'll catch you guys on Monday for sure.